Now we present the schedule. Yes.
Objection!
The schedule says you were supposed to perform a different act. Wendo, isn't there something odd about the routine you performed? Odd? No, I don't think there's anything odd about it. Oh, you know what, though? It was actually the girl. The freaking clown girl killed him. Right? We're gonna go through all of this. We're gonna go through all of this and go, oh, okay, it was him. And then the twist is gonna be, no, it was the lady feeding her dog chicken nuggets out in the yard. But that's exactly what I find odd. The fact that you don't think it's odd. We are discussing the witness's alibi at the moment, defense. The show's program is completely irrelevant. That's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Sadmati. The reason being, it contradicts the statement the witness just made. Wendo, do you know what this is? No. What is it? This is an invitation to the show, sent from Master Tornado to Prosecutor Blackwell. Included in the invitation is a rundown of the show's program, which clearly states that Time Soba was to be performed by Master Tornado himself. No. Wendo, why did you perform the routine your master was scheduled to do? Well, you see, the reason for that is... how do I say this? You see, let's say it was a prank. That's right, it was just a little joke, you see. Just a social experiment, bro. I was trying to surprise Shisho by performing his routine before he did. I don't know if I buy that. Was doing the victim's routine really just for laughs, or... Hey, didn't Simon happen to hear Time Soba coming from the dressing room? You don't have to connect these dots for me. I've already connected them. You're just redoing connect the dots that someone has already filled in. There's nothing impressive about that, Athena. It seems like too much of a coincidence. Wait, can it be? What's the matter? You look like a hen with a dozen eggs to lay? Is that a face that people do? Is that a face that chickens do? Do chickens have faces? For one. Let's go back to step one. Step one, do chickens have faces? Stop comparing me to birds. Then cease this bird-brained timidity. Timidity. If something has occurred to you, then lay it out for us. Lay it like a dozen eggs. Don't breed resentment into those watching your performance. Okay. Prank, it's both legal and more, and... Wait, it's both legal? It's both legal and more and funny if it's a prank. Guess Buckwheat's guilty. I don't have a ton of confidence in this theory, but here goes. It looks like Wendo's alibi checks out, Your Honor, but even though he was on stage at the time, he may have been trying to obfuscate a crucial detail about this case. Are you referring to the Soba bill the man tried to skimp on in the witness's story? I'm not talking about the Rakugo story, Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry. But then what are you talking about, Miss Sykes? The time of death. Wendo tried to deceive us about the time of the victim's death. What? Eek!
Objection!
What gibberish. Even Prosecutor Blackwell even testified to the time of the victim's death. I know, but he only testified that way because he and Geru had been completely taken in. You mean by the Soba bill thing? Would you please forget about the story for 1 second, Your Honor? I was deceived. Pray tell, how did Wendo manage to deceive two people while he was performing on stage? That's easy. All he had to do was use a certain prop in the dressing room.
Oh, and what might that be?
Yes, everybody has infinite beads. The prop Wendo used was the TV. By the way, did you know that the word prop is short for property? It is.
Take that!
I looked it up. And because it was the word came up during one of Pitch Shifter's Danganronpa streams. And he was like, prop, and he's like, is that short for something? And he looked it up, and he was like, oh, okay, he found the definition, and he's like, and it's short for property. I'm like, I didn't know that. Did you know the word prop probably isn't short for impropriety? Well, of course not. Not with the M. It's just short for propriety, which is a word that people use. This TV was used to view what was happening on the stage. Prosecutor Blackwell, when you came to the dressing room, what was Wendo doing? He was performing Time Soba. Blast! Could it be? Yes, it could, and it was. What you and Geiru heard was not Master Tornado practicing his routine. It was Wendo's performance as heard through this TV monitor's speakers.
What?
With the TV just inside the inner door of the dressing room, it could easily be heard from the hallway outside. And because we knew that Master Tornado was scheduled to perform Time Soba, we were easily manipulated into thinking he was still alive at the time, rehearsing. Yes, your knowledge of the day's program is why the two of you could be fooled this way. Simon, did the voice you heard, not hear, belong to Master Tornado? With the doors in the way, I couldn't tell exactly who the voice belonged to. But because I heard Time Soba, I just assumed it was Master Tornado. I can't believe I was taken in by such a simple mind game. All of that is mere conjecture. Where is your proof, defense?
Objection!
Wendo moved the TV back when he discovered the body. After all, he couldn't very well leave it by the door, because then someone might figure out the trick he'd been playing. And there's one more thing about Wendo's actions that's suspicious.
And that is?
The fact that he flopped so badly on such an important occasion.
What's so suspicious about that? Even pros slip up once in a while, you know.
But I believe that this time it was intentional. Because Wendo knew it'd be strange to hear laughter coming from the dressing room.
Oh my.
Yipes. It's all just a bit too perfect to be sheer coincidence. Plus, if the voice Prosecutor Blackwell and Gale heard was due to Wendo's scheming, then the victim's time of death could have been earlier than 4 p.m. I laugh at all my best jokes. In other words, Wendo could have killed Master Tornado himself. We've got you by the stones now, Wendo, so you'd better confess everything.
Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
We demand an explanation. Wendo! I confess. I tampered with the crime scene. Is it the defense's claim that Wendo Tornado is the true murderer in this case? If he tampered with the crime scene, then we have to at least consider him a suspect. Now wait just 1 minute. Yes, I admit to messing with the dressing room, but I didn't kill Shisho. Then why did you tamper with the crime scene? I refuse to answer that question. What? Now this time it makes sense, because that is actually, again, you know, probably works like that. You can refuse to say things that are going to incriminate you. That's different. If you suspect this witness, then I have a question for you. Whoops. What could it be this time? Wendell had absolutely no reason to murder Taifu Tornado. After all, why would Wendell kill the man who recognized his skills and promoted him? Oh, well, his motive was, I can't think of a single thing. It appears you are also not aware of one other fact. And that is? That the accused visited the dressing room before 4 p.m. as well. Is it not natural, then, to suppose that the accused killed the victim at that time? What? Nobody told me Mr. Wright had also gone there before 4 p.m. We were only discussing the time frame after 4 p.m., so I didn't think to mention it. But now that you have made the time period before 4 p.m. relevant... Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going. So you really do not know what your client was doing during that time frame, do you? SMH. Well, it was all very sudden, and, why did you wait until the very last second to contact me, Simon? Don't you give me that look. And just so you know, Bucky never told me he had visited the Master before 4 p.m. either. Arg! This is the sort of thing... This sort of thing is exactly why that prosecutor keeps calling us unprepared. So Bucky came in with a loaded gun, chainsaw, and a shirt that read, "I'ma murder someone." Which means he must be innocent, because there were no gunshot wounds, or chainsaw wound, or shirt wounds. The defense will stop squabbling this instant. Sorry, Your Honor. Prosecutor Sadmati, please continue. Thank you, Your Honor. Defense. You know of the soba-making implements in the dressing room, correct? Is he talking about the equipment for making You know of the soba-making implements, right? Is he talking about the implements for making soba? You speak of the large bowl that is used to make... The recipe for soba noodles is now going to become relevant. Why? The large bowl that is used to mix buckwheat flour and water. The long rolling pin and the special knife that is used to cut the dough into noodles. Precisely. These tools all came from the accused soba shop. You mean they didn't belong to Master Tornado? Mr. Wright had visited the dressing room to give the victim a soba-making lesson. And that visit was before 4 p.m. I'm afraid that after the accused kneaded the dough and made those noodles. He committed the act of murder. But wait, that doesn't add up. If Mr. White killed the victim before 4 p.m., then why would he return to that room at a later time? Nobody wants you to say anything, please. Wet soba, your kit and caboodle when it comes to noodles. Oh my! Hi, Ms. Chickadee. Hey, Saimi. The reason I went... He's still drunk. The court's been going on for hours. Well, now I missed what he was saying. The reason I went back is because Mr. Tornado ordered uncooked noodles. Oh. Don't teach your customers how to cook your food. True. Mr. Wet. Yesterday, I brought noodle-making tools to the dressing room at around 2 p.m. That's when Master Tornado ordered uncooked soba noodles to stock up on. Uncooked noodles to stock up on? Yes, ma'am. Master Tornado kept a supply of soba noodles from my shop in his fridge.
He only had one serving left, so I went back to my shop to get more.
One serving of noodles in the fridge, but I thought the fridge was practically empty. Anyway, the whereabouts of the missing noodles is very important.
You ran into me and Gale when you came back to deliver the uncooked soba, correct? That's right, Sahibi. I made time out of my busy day to deliver him the noodles.
Alright, so that says soba. I don't know what the rest of it is. I know that's ue? Like, up? I don't know the rest of them. Oh well. Forever a mystery.
And you know what? He ignored me when I called to him from the inner doorway. He just kept mumbling Rakugo lines for ages, so I got mad and went back to my soba shop.
Ah, so that's why you got mad. If what he's saying is true, then there's no way he could be the murderer.
I swear, I'm telling the truth, Miss Chick... Bailiff, quick! Get this man to the infirmary. Well, I dare say he's quite the handful.
Your Honor, please accept the statements Mr. Wet made just now into evidence. I believe the accused's statement about going to the room at around 2 p.m. is true. Bailiff, tackle this man. Tackle him right off of his skateboard. Why is he skateboarding, by the way? For it falls within the victim's estimated time of death.
That opens up the possibility that the crime was committed between 2 and 4 p.m. That's some critical information.
Yes, Your Honor. But other than that one point, Mr. Red's statements are dubious and without proof. But they're the words of the defendant himself. Simon, back me up here.
He has a point. If I were the prosecutor, I wouldn't accept them either. While I understand the defense's feelings on the matter, this court is unable to accept anything other than the time the defendant made his visit.
Now what do I do? I trust you have no further objections, defense. Like, yes, guy shows up to court drunk, takes the stand, whatever he says is extremely trustworthy. At last, the time has come to send the soul of the victim onward to the Twilight Realm.
What are you yammering about? What are you yammering on about, Prosecutor Sadmonk? We still have something we need to question Wendo about.
We do? Like what?
Well, don't you stand there.
But we don't have any evidence left to present.
Have you forgotten already about the dog's chicken nuggets? Isn't there still a hidden witness you have yet to question?
A hidden witness? Oh, that's right. Genocide Jack. Your Honor, there's still one more issue we haven't finished discussing yet.
Oh? And what is this bit of unfinished business?
Kanjiana's outfit seems to be unique to the localized... What? The kanji in his outfit seems to be unique to the localized version because it's a bilingual pun. Ah, okay. Read separately would be what, and his name isn't Wet in Japanese, I assume. Ueto. Owen. We still have to discuss the possibility of a fourth personality, the one named Owen.
Are you suggesting that this fourth...
Yes, we already said that. We said it explicitly. Jeez, not that again. I told you we don't know anything about this Owen. Look, Wendo, I know you don't have any motive to kill your master, but this Owen may have one for all we know. Susuru Uchitate.
Come clean now, Wendo. You've got another personality stashed away, haven't you?
which is also a noodle joke, but has a different meaning. So they gave him a different... They drew him different or put a different name on his outfit in order to make a bilingual joke in the English version? Weird. Please tell us everything you know about Owen. That's enough. The witness has already stated that he knows not of any Owen character. Bravo! You tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Hee hee. Hee hee. Hey, Patches. If you claim you don't know Owen when you really do, that's tantamount to perjury. If you want to exercise your right to remain silent, however, well, that's a different story. Do not listen to the depraved prosecutor witness. You will be tainted with his evil. Do you have any idea how dark and cold a prison cell is? I exercise my right to remain silent. What's this now? Changing horses in midstream, are you? Something of a mixed metaphor. Shut up! I will remain silent, and that's that. Patches, you fool. You stay out of this. Oh, wait. He didn't have a skateboard, even? Or no, you said that... right. The thing that was written on the skateboard, I guess. Patches is not the brightest bulb in that box you call a noggin, is he? The fact that he switched from I don't know any Owen to I will remain silent is proof that he does know about Owen. That's not how it works in court. You're not supposed to do that. It's against the rules. There it is again. Simon's formidable psychological manipulation tactic. Illegally. I'm sure glad he's on my side today. It's like, remaining silent, huh? That means you're guilty. You dirty, despicable, depraved prosecutor. You were leading the witness. Witness, there is no need for you to submit yourself to the defense's questioning.
Objection!
Your Honor, Wendo is definitely hiding something. Please, allow me to question this witness about the existence of Owen.
I suppose only this witness can confirm or deny the existence of Owen for...
How rude would it be, by the way, if we were wrong about the Owen thing? If it was just like coincidence that the scattered cards in front of him spelled out Owen Fourth, and he's like, no, like, sorry, I have a psychological disability. I have dissociative identity disorder. These are my 3 personalities. And we're like, shut up, you have a 4th one, don't you? He's like, no, man, I really don't. It's like, you're crazy and a liar. Master Higgins from Adventure Island? Sure, Adventure Island.
Very well. I will allow the defense to proceed. Grng Polkunka.
I've never met any personality named Owen. Patches was just blurting out nonsense in a panic. We're always aware, so we definitely notice if a personality like that showed up. How dare you treat me like a criminal based on mere conjecture? Valid? Wow, how am I supposed to deal with the testimony of 3 personalities? Unless you can prove the existence of Owen here, it's all over. You'd best screw your courage to the sticking point and attack their testimony head-on. Alright, I will. Just stop piling the pressure on me. I have to draw out some info. Anything to drag Owen out into the open. It's going to be the fact that they said, second statement said, we're aware at all times, which should not be true because they were surprised. I don't know, third statement. Third statement. We're always aware, so we definitely notice. I don't know what to present here. But what if, for some reason, you 3 were unconscious at the time of the incident and didn't have robot eyes? If the three of you weren't alert and aware, what would happen? What would happen? I'm not even sure what you mean. I mean, you three share the same memories, right? But what if Owen is different? What if he has memories separate from yours? Maybe Owen emerges when the three of you are unaware or unconscious. Instead of speaking as if this fourth personality is a foregone conclusion, I suggest you prove his existence first. Well, we've already seen three personalities. A fourth wouldn't be a stretch. Okay. You dishonor the victim in this court by jumping to such conclusions without proof. Have you ever heard these old sayings, Prosecutor Sadmati? What happens twice will happen thrice. If you see one, there are likely 30 in your home. I'm basing my theory on such premises. Comparing us to cockroaches, do we bug you that much, girlie? But how do you intend to prove it? How will you prove that all three personalities became unconscious, as you say? Unless you can do that, all of this talk is merely empty speculation. Well,
Don't be so timid. If you don't have it, then find it. Look for something that could render Uendo and the others unconscious.
Simon's right. I can't back down now. For my client, Mr. Wet, I have to... Wait, Mr. Wet?
Let me rest? Ha, maybe if I were a lump of regular flour dough udon noodles. But I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let the soba dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles for...
He's blocked out. Mr. Wet, falling unconscious. Robot eyeballs. Wait a minute, I think I've got it.
Miss Sykes? Do you have proof to back up your theory?
Maybe. So there's a big ol' empty bottle of Camel sake. Cool Joe. Oh, just kidding. It's not empty. It's half full. Or half empty. I don't think I do yet. I'm going to press on everything else. I'm afraid not, Your Honor.
Of course you do, Athena. Have another good look at the crime scene.
The crime scene photo? What? Alright, so he's saying we absolutely do have proof. So... Oh no, wait. I'm not gonna present it here. I'll press and go through all this dialogue again, and then present it.
Objection.
Mick Foley. I don't recognize the name. No, because they do occasionally... The Phoenix Wright games will occasionally trip you up and go like, do you have evidence? And you say... No, what's the really tough one where they're like... It's something like, did they have an accomplice? Or no, did they have a... you say, like, the question is, like, did they have an accomplice? And if you say yes, then they say, okay, who was the accomplice? And they have you pick from the people. And then what's the, like, what's the piece of evidence that shows that that's their accomplice? And you pick it. And no matter what combination you pick, you lose a point. And they bring you back to that question. You're supposed to say no because they actually did it alone. But they do fake you out into saying, it looks like you're going to present something here, but the correct answer is to say no. Here, I thought it was just I needed to go press on some other statement. So I'm going to say yes, and I'll present the crime scene photo, and I guess the answer is going to be, like, alcohol exists, therefore... Alcohol exists, therefore... It's possible that this person has a fourth split personality. Most likely. Your words, not mine. Although, because it's Phoenix Wright game, you are correct. This is probably what made Wendell lose consciousness. Ah, yes, the sake. And isn't it just like Master Tomatoes to pick a fine brand like Camel? Sake? Oh, you mean rice wine? Oh, please, don't call it rice wine. That's so unsophisticated, and it's not even wine. Silly little Caucasian girl wants to play with samurai swords. I must agree. You need to become more cultured, Athena. Tomato, tomato, it's made of rice, and people get drunk from drinking tomatoes, right? It's called sake. End of story. Fine, sake it is then. Ay caramba, everybody's so touchy about all these things. You need to be more cultured. You can't just go to one country called Europe and then come back and think that you're cultured. I recall Master Tornado would often have a drink or two before performing. Marlboro brand vodka. He said it made him more eloquent. Drinking too much of the stuff can make one lose consciousness, though, of course. And look, there were 2 glasses on the table. Wendo, I believe your master offered you some sake. And then you must have drank too much and passed out. That's when your fourth personality, Owen, emerged. I drank sake. Oh, that's a good one. We have a real sweet tooth, you see. So yes, we did accept a sugary red bean bun. Red bean bun, not red bean bun. Gotta put the hyphen in the wrong place. But since we really dislike sake, we said no thank you to that. Believe it or not, we're real weak when it comes to booze. Hee hee. Even a tiny drop can knock us right out. Just like that. So you see, I had a real sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake. What? But that can't be right. It just can't be. You have to have a fourth personality based on the fact that a bottle of sake exists. The defense demands that the glasses be examined right away. You amateur, did you really think I had not already done so? Your foolishness is beyond the pale. Don't tell me. There was no trace of the witness having touched either of the glasses, naturally. Right, of course. Miss Sykes, would you like the witness's statement added to his testimony? Yeah, just put the hyphen right in the middle of the word. Red Bean Bun. I've never heard of Mick Foley, the professional wrestler who had multiple personality disorder. One was Dude Love, a hippie, Mankind, and a mentally unstable personality, and Cactus Jack, rough and tumble cowboy type. Wait, Mankind, the one from the copy pasta? Undertaker, Hell in a Cell, 1984, that guy? 1986, one of those years. Very well. I had a sweet manju bun, but I didn't drink any sake. Well, somebody dunked it. So if you had even a tiny sip of sake, you'd conk right out, huh? That's why you didn't touch the glass Master Tornado offered, correct? This is awfully convenient. It's like, by the way, I have a condition that if a molecule of alcohol touches me, I am rendered unconscious for several hours, and my other secret fourth personality takes over. That's right. Then maybe you ate something that had sake in it as an ingredient. I don't recall doing anything like that. He doesn't recall doing it, but that doesn't necessarily mean he didn't. He just might not have known that he did. I'd better take another good look at the evidence. So he didn't drink any sake, huh? Oh boy, now we're in trouble. That kind of answer is exactly why Sad Monk keeps insulting you. Now use your head. There are countless ways Wendo could have gotten sake into his mouth besides drinking it. I don't know about the countless part. How many orifices does he have? But nothing. Give it some thought and you'll figure something out. So the witness must have had something that contained sake. Is there anything in the court record that hints at something like that? So it's going to be the note. Because the note was written on a piece of the paper that the red bean buns were wrapped in, and you can see it's got camel logos on it. So
Objection!
Nothing gets past old He-10. Perfect trial. How long has it been? 7 minutes? 8? When was the last time we had a perfect trial? Just the other day. This shows what most likely made Wendo lose consciousness. That note? Are you feeling lightheaded, child, or perhaps a bit peckish? I'm not hungry, and my head feels just fine, thank you very much. Use your head. Go over there and headbutt him until his 3 main personalities lose consciousness, and then we'll meet Owen. Look at the paper this note is written on. Isn't there something familiar about it? What exactly is your point, Defense? I'm really glad that I got this too, because if I had not noticed that, and if I had been like, I don't know the answer, and just, well, I guess I'm going to try everything, have my badge, have a map, have a dog treat, and then finally got to the last one and was like, it's not the note, and skip over the note, start from the beginning, do them all again, then finally hand them the note by accident because I slipped and hit my mouse button, and they're like, yeah, it's correct. I would be livid. I'd be like, how does that prove? But it does, I guess. It proves that the red bean buns are sold by the same company that sells sake, which means that they put sake in the red bean buns. Of course. This faint design here reminds me of the paper from... Yep, it's a piece of the wrapping paper on the box of manju buns by the victim on the floor. By the victim on the floor. Wendo, you may not have drunk any sake, but you did take a nibble of a bun that was made with a splash of alcohol. Well, yes, that's right. I don't know if you're aware of it or not, Wendo, but I believe, yet have no proof, the manju you ate caused you to fall unconscious. The bean bun? But how? Because those buns contained a secret ingredient that I am lying about. I'm lying in court about me knowing this. A very punchy punchy? It's not punch, it's wine. A punchy secret ingredient? Yes. The design on the wrapping paper matches that of something else in the room. It does? Oh, okay. Obviously it's this.
Take that!
Onigiri vodka. Damn whiskey hamburgers. The camel pattern. It's the same as the one for camel brand sake. The logo on this on this bottle of Nestle's Quick. It's a rabbit. Oh my gosh, you drank Energizer batteries. That's what the drink's made of. You know the rules. So, just as Wendo said, he didn't drink any sake, per se. But he did eat some. Impossible. Wendo had a Camel brand red bean bun, which boasts a nice shot of sake as one of its ingredient lists that I have fabricated for the court.
So the defense is claiming that Wendo passed out after consuming...
Not a whole one. Not a whole one. You can see there is a bun here that has a tiny nibble out of it. One 20th of the filling has been consumed.
Which allowed a fourth personality named Owen to emerge. Is that correct?
Are you sure? Are you for real? Are you goofing on me? Yes, Your Honor, that's exactly what I'm claiming.
But there's one thing that... There's one thing that bothers me. Wouldn't the alcoholic content of the buns evaporate as they are steamed? In order to give them a stronger flavor, some manju are specially made to retain as much of their alcoholic content as possible.
What kind of lightweight do you think I am? Even I wouldn't pass out from eating a simple manju. Or a single bite of a manju. Don't pretend you ate the whole thing. We know you didn't. Then how about we test that theory? What do you say, Your Honor?
Seeing is believing, as they say. Very well, I will allow a test.
This is an expression that also came up during Pitch Shifter's stream. The Japanese equivalent of this is a saying that goes, hearing about something 100 times is the equal of seeing it once. It's kind of the closest thing that you would have to this expression. Seeing is believing. I will allow a test. I will allow you to forcibly compel this witness in a court of law to ingest something that we hypothesize will knock them out and cause a murderous personality to take them over. I'm going to allow this. Simon, go buy us some camel manju. We can't just get the free ones that are on the floor. It doesn't matter if it's floor bean buns. Don't forget to get me one too, okay? I want to be drunk lawyer. Drunken lawyer.
Why must I?
I shall allow you to inebriate a witness to the point of incapacitation and being taken over by a murderer. Don't forget the second part.
While you're at it, get one for me as well. I'm not the courthouse stable boy, you know. But just this once, I'll acquiesce. Taka, I'm counting on you. And all of you had better pay me back.
Pay you back? You didn't give the bird your wallet. Does it have a little like QR code of your credit card number around its ankle? Is it the future? I think it's the future.
But I thought it would be your treat, Prosecutor Blackwell. What a shame. Now then, let us adjourn until the manju arrive by Carrier Hawk. Court will reconvene as soon as Taka returns.
This is silly. To be continued, you don't say. I'll keep going for a little longer. Just carry coin purses around, I guess. I thought this was going to be as the judge is like, so, I'm about to deliver my verdict here, but if you were to have some food for me, I might just be convinced to change my verdict.
Now that the sweet buns have arrived, this court is back in session.
Go on, Wendo, eat up.
Chomp, chomp. Nice flavor. You can really taste the sake. That was delicious. And now we are all drunk.
Yes, a unique sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet I hardly think anyone could pass out from eating something like this.
What's the matter, Wendo? You're not afraid of a tiny manju, are you? Or are you scared of how many calories it has?
Yes. So after Wendo is found guilty, I go, I am going to appeal, and the appellate court opens up the briefing, and it just explodes into flames. It was under so much pressure. There were so many law violations inside that it just explodes when opened. Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly. I mean, it could never.
Less bleeding, more eating, witness.
Fine, whatever. We might be a lightweight, but come on, nobody's that light. Seriously, nobody gets drunk off of... It looks like it worked.
Oh my! Witness, please tell the court your name and occupation.
Ooh. Ooh. My name is Owen. I'm 5. You're 5 years old? Am I in trouble? Please don't yell at me. Ooh.
So he's Wendo's fourth personality.
I'd hardly think a child like him could have a... I love how instantly he went from, this guy definitely doesn't have a fourth personality. No way does he have a fourth personality. There's no way you're going to believe it. There's no way he drank sake and it made him... Okay, well, he does have a fourth personality, but there's no way that that a child could have a motive to murder the victim. And even if he had the motive, could he have actually committed the murder?
That's a very good point. Owen does appear to be very timid and weak.
Ooh. It seems the defense was hoping this hidden personality would be the real killer. But now that he is standing here before us, it is clear that none of Wendo's personalities can be the killer. Eek! Where can I even go from here? Shisho. Owen, do you know something about what happened to your master? What? Come on, buddy. Won't you tell your Auntie Athena your Athena Onesan what happened? What a scary lady. I'm not scary. Look at Auntie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Pretty please with sugar on top? Okay. Shisho was super nice. He always played with me. Just like a real grandpa. I loved Shisho. Get him! Drunk 5-year-old. Who gave him... Who gave this 5-year-old alcohol? It was technically the Hawk. The Hawk is under arrest.
Athena, do you sense anything beside his words?
I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure, it's heartrending. But no discord. Oops. Prosecutor Sadmati is right. Owen isn't the killer.
But then don't you find it odd?
Wait a minute. odd. 5? He has a 5th personality. Of course. Blind Umpire was way ahead of me. Find what odd?
Let's review what we've learned so far. Wendell rearranged the character cards to pin the blame on Bucky.
Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Tornado.
Exactly. The other 3 personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards
probably wouldn't have been Master Tornado. So then who did it?
Defense? Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out?
Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the character cards.
But I thought it was the victim, right?
No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The one who first arranged the character cards was none other than... I'll lose a point for this. Let's hear it. If it's not the 4th personality, Owen, then it must be a 5th personality. And why would a 5th personality try to pin the blame on the 4th? They both inhabit the same body, after all. Well, oh psychology expert. Maybe the 5th personality is stupid.
It appears our psychology expert has run out of expertise. Review who rearranged the cards and their motives, O psychology expert.
Arg! I do have a name, I'll have you all know. The True Killer. I believe the person who laid the cards out is the very person who killed Typhoon Tornado. How quickly you move on to a new target when your Owen theory proves false. You Pokumkan. I don't know what a Pokumkan is, but I know I am definitely not one. And before you start with the sermons, why don't you hear me out?
Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you.
I understand, Your Honor. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the character cards name when the scene was discovered?
Let's see, I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Wet.
That's right. But then we found out that the message originally read Owen 4th.
Which implicated the young boy, Owen.
Exactly, and the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Uendo.
Wendell may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it.
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
The reason Wendell rearranged the character cards and moved the TV was because he saw the Owen 4th message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime.
Right on, Prosecutor Blackwell. It would seem that Owen and the other 3 personalities don't share the same memories. But really, there is no 4th personality. It's just the 3 of us in here. Wendell feared that Owen... Wendell feared that Owen had killed Master Tornado, and he tried to hide Owen from us. Ooh.
But it turns out Owen is but a 5-year-old child, incapable of hurting a fly, let alone his beloved master.
So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen.
I see. That does make sense.
Also, he doesn't have a 5-year-old's, body and muscles. He's not spirit channeling the ghost of a 5-year-old. He keeps his original body when he changes personalities. This is naught but conjecture, composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who, then, do you maintain murdered the victim? I believe Owen might know something about that. I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old, no less. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent.
Objection!
But your desperation is disgraceful. You should realize when it's time to let it go, and I saw it. I saw Shisho getting... Owen! You do know something, don't you? Allow me to slam my desk some more. Yeah.
Oh my, is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, Prosecutor Sudmati? It's all right, Owen. Go ahead. Tell us what you know.
Shisho was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shisho's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. This is eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. I saw Shisho getting another glass of Camel brand sake. The sake that goes down smooth as menthol. Can you tell us anything else about what you saw? I was so scared. Ooh, so scared. Owen! His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him.
Is he all right?
His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. I recommend a therapy session right away. I recommend a therapy session on Saturday, which is when we will return to Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice. How do you like that? You like that segue? Camel, don't call it rice wine. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. More of this on Saturday. I may just play this on Sunday as well. We'll just play this for 4 days a week until we get through it. I'm enjoying this case more, I think, more than the other ones so far. Hard to put my finger on it exactly, but smooth like Camel brand sake. Certainly not. It's already been like 6 hours since the guy was murdered. We need a guilty verdict on somebody. We can't wait. Before the body even cools off, we have to have somebody in jail awaiting the death penalty. We don't have time. Do you know how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? Yeah, I thought so. That's why we can't give him a lollipop and wait. Thank you, Blind. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you for the host. And let's see who is streaming. I can throw somebody host.